Chinese GP, Hamilton beats Vettel to pole, Verstappen out in Q1. Lewis Hamilton emerged from another tight Formula One qualifying battle with Sebastian Vettel to claim pole position for the Chinese Grand Prix. Barely more than 0.2 of a second had covered the Mercedes and Ferrari drivers after the first runs in Q2, with Vettel fractionally ahead of Hamilton, followed by Valtteri Bottas and Kimi Räikkönen, who eventually went fastest in that segment by doing second run when the others didn't. But Hamilton moved into the ascendancy at the start of Q3, leading Vettel by almost 0.2 of a second after the first runs despite running wide out of turn 3 and suffering a snap of oversteer at the exit of turn 11. The Mercedes driver improved to a 1:31.678's best on his final run with a cleaner lap, claiming pole by just 0.186 seconds. Vettel joined Hamilton in the 1:31's on his own final flying lap, but failed to improve in Sector 1 and lost out. When informed by Ferrari he had missed pole by 0.2, Vettel reckoned "I didn't have that time in the car." Bottas put in an excellent final lap in Q3, but missed out on beating Vettel to the front row by just 1/1000 of a second. Räikkönen fell away in Q3, ending up fourth, nearly 0.3 back from Bottas. Red Bull reckoned Daniel Ricciardo got everything out of his car in posting the fifth quickest time, nearly 1.5s away from pole but nearly half a second clear of Felipe Massa's Williams. Nico Hülkenberg was sixth fastest in Q2 and chose to complete his solitary Q3 run at the start of that session instead of the end, but this was still good enough for seventh place for Renault. Force India's Sergio Perez was eighth fastest, just ahead of Danny Kvyat's Toro Rosso, while Ricky Lance Stroll rounded out the top 10 in the second Williams. The battle to make it into the top 10 shootout was extremely tight between Stroll, Sergio Perez, the two Toro Rossos, and Kevin Magnussen's Haas. Carlos Sainz missed the top 10 cut by just 0.060s after failing to improve on his second Q2 run, while Magnussen was only 0.014s further back in 12th. Fernando Alonso wrung the neck of the McLaren Honda to make the top 10 in Q1 and eventually qualify 13th fastest, just over 0.2 down on the Haas and almost 0.7 clear of Marcus Ericsson's Sauber. Sauber unexpectedly got both cars through to Q2, thanks to Antonio Giovinazzi crashing heavily at the final corner just as the checkered flag came out at the end of Q1. The Ferrari third driver took no part in Q2 so was classified 16th, ahead of Romain Grosjean's Haas, Jolyon Palmer's Renault, and Esteban Ocon's Force India, which all had to abort their final flying laps in Q1. The second McLaren Honda of Stoffel Vandoorne was unaffected, but his best lap was not good enough to displace Giovinazzi, so Vandoorne missed the cut by just 0.060s. Melbourne qualifying star Grosjean had earlier spun exiting the final corner, ruining his first Q1 run, so he wound up only 17th fastest, 0.2 behind Vandoorne. Palmer ended up 18th fastest and Ocon last, both sandwiching the Red Bull of Max Verstappen, who struggled with a suspected engine problem throughout the session. Both Grosjean and Palmer are also under investigation by the FIA for allegedly failing to slow sufficiently under yellow flags at the end of Q1.